All right. We're going to talk about properties of numbers. Properties of numbers. In other books, or in other words, you can say numbers and numerals. Numbers and numerals. You can also talk about numbers. So virtually, it's about numbers, real number systems, or properties of numbers, or numbers and numerals. It's all about numbers. In other books, you even see set of numbers, right? So it doesn't matter. What matters is that we are talking about numbers. You need to know numbers very well and know how to manipulate them. So for that matter, we will start with properties of numbers. When you talk about properties of something, it means the characteristics or the features or the behavior or the function or the purpose of that particular thing. That is its property. So we know very sure that number names are given according to their characteristics. According to their characteristics. So what function do those numbers play in everyday life? What property do they have? What characteristics do they have? What function do they have? What behavior do they have? Do you understand? So the number names are given according to their properties that they have. But before we do that, look at what is a number in the first place. Can an examiner ask you what a number is? No. But it's good to know what you are doing. What is a number? A number is used to represent a quantity, amount, or value. So if I mention $5, what does it mean? Good. Now, between $5 and $100, if I ask you to choose one, you know what you're going to choose because of the value, because of the amount involved, because of the quantity involved. This is very critical. So a number is not just anything. A number is used to represent a quantity. A number is used to represent a quantity or an amount or a value of something. That is why in mathematics we don't play with numbers. You cannot just play with numbers. You need to be very careful when you're dealing with numbers. Why? Numbers have impact in so many things, especially in the financial circles. What are numerals? Numerals are the symbol used to represent numbers. So we have Roman numerals. So Roman numerals, when you write I, you know I stands for 1 in English numeral. II means 2. III means what? 3. So forth and so on. You know the rest. So numerals are just symbols used to represent numbers. Now, what is a set? A set is a collection or group of items of the same kind. Group of items of the same kind. So we are going to talk about set of numbers, different set of numbers. I think we have heard of even numbers, odd numbers, prime numbers, composite numbers, and so forth and so on. Factors of a number and all that. Prime factors and all that. How do you call them set? It's a group of items of the same kind. We group the numbers under even numbers, odd numbers, prime numbers because under each of these categories, they perform a particular function in everyday life or in our calculations. That is why we group them in that sense. Or they have a particular characteristics, or they have a particular function or behavior. And for that matter, that is why we categorize them under that umbrella. So we can have this set of numbers here. Good. So set A equals what? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. What set of numbers are these? I believe you know the answer very well. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Can you tell? They are even numbers up to 12. You can say that. That is the description. Even numbers up to 12. Or you can say multiples of 2 up to 12. Multiples of 2 up to 12, isn't it? Good. Right. But you cannot say they are even numbers or they are multiples of 2. You cannot say that. That's wrong. You know why? This is a definite set. The last element is known. That is 12. So you have to state it. Right? So that is very important. Now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There are 6 of them. So we can also say first 6 even numbers. or first 6 multiples of 12. That's correct. Because it's a definite set. Now, let's look at this set. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then you see 3 dots that follow, meaning that the last element is not null. Therefore, it's up to infinity. So, indefinite set or infinite set. Indefinite or infinite set. But when we find a set of number arranged in this manner and the last element is known, there's no continuation with dots, it means the last element is known. Therefore, it is called finite or definite set. So this is how set of numbers are arranged. First of all, set of numbers are labeled by a capital letter. So here you can see A. So A means set A. Then you write equal sign. And you open curly bracket and close with curly brackets when you are done. And each element or member of the set is enclosed or separated with a comma. That is very important. So you need to notice that when you are listing set of numbers. Good. So that is about set of numbers for you. That's about set of numbers for you. Now, we will look at the number names. Now we know what set of number is. We know numbers, we know numerals, right? We know what a number is, we know what a numeral is, we know what a set is. A collection of items of the same kind. And we have seen examples, definite set and indefinite set. Now you're going to look at even numbers. Why do we call them even numbers? Odd numbers, prime numbers, composite numbers. You're going to look at them in the next video. So watch out.